I got some yarn from Temu recently, a really big haul. I told you I was going to deep dive into it, so let's get going and see what I think of this. But first, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, because I'm going to go over all the yarn I bought to see if it's a good deal or if it's a waste of time. Also, I'm going to release this pattern as a freebie, so don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you know when it's released. Now, back to this stuff. This one was super cheap, as you can see. Use my link in the description to get it even cheaper. But this is an 80% polyester and 20% rayon. So basically acrylic. It's an acrylic yarn. It feels like an acrylic. Not too stiff, not too soft. It's a good weight. I would say softer than Red Heart, but harder than Vanna's Choice. Those are some big box ones that most people know, so that'll give you an idea of what this feels like. Now, I gave this a 3.5 in the beginning because the ball band was lacking. It gave me no information on yardage, so I used my handy dandy yard counter and found out that there were about 107 yards in each ball. So the fact that I got 3 of them and about 300 yards of yarn, and I could make this entire cowl for that much money, that was a steal. But were the problems with this yarn a deterrent from ever purchasing it again? Let's take a closer look and see what I think.
So here is the close-up of the yarn, and you'll see I'm starting right off with a knot. So there were quite a few of these in the project. Don't mind the little thread that's in the video as well. That is part of the project, that the free pattern that is available on my website for this cowl. But you'll see I tried to work in the knot just to see how it was going to lay, and it did not lay well. So what I did was a little tutorial on the pattern showing how you can kind of work around it if you don't have scissors at the time to fix things. But you'll see that the yarn very easily frogs. It's not a problem. It was actually really easy to work with except for those actual knots. So you'll see me pulling out some length before and after the knot so that I can continue working without having to go find scissors. You basically just kind of pretend like you're joining a new yarn. You're having 2 different spots that you're putting together to be able to create that new join so that you have your knot kind of way out of the way where you can cut it later and then weave in the 2 ends. So if you don't mind doing that, that, you know, is the workaround for this yarn. It being an acrylic, you know, I would expect it to not have knots, but that's what it is. Other than that, the yarn was very easy to work with. It was nice and soft, but let's go do some final thoughts on this so you can see what else I think.
So as you could see, there were a few knots, or at least you saw one, but I encountered at least 1 per ball. I think maybe even 2 in a couple of them. I think that this was end of the line or end of the mill type yarn where maybe they're running out and they don't have enough for a full skein in maybe whoever they're making this for, and so they use these as a one-off and just tie them together so that they can get a full skein of what they're trying to make. Not a total deterrent for me, but if you hate weaving in ends, if you hate knots in your yarn, you're not gonna like this yarn. But for the price, and if you're looking for specific color, it's not a bad deal. It's good enough that I would use it again if I needed that specific weight, color, size, that type of thing. But overall, I started with a 3.5 based on just my first impressions. I'm gonna keep it right there, actually. It was a decent price. Still like the color and the feel. The knots, there was nothing that made it rise above, and there was nothing really that dropped it for me. So sticking with a 3.5. Have you guys tried this yarn? If you have, let me know in the comments. Tell me what you think about it. Do you buy it a lot? Do you use it? Would you think about buying it? I'd love to hear. But I am Deja with Knit and Crochet Ever After, and thank you for watching.